All right, how's it going today, guys? Castillo Trading coming to you with another VIP live stream. Shout out to the stream sponsors of CoinCatch and Stryker.ai. CoinCatch is the perpetual exchange of choice that I like to use. No KYC, no VPN, no fuss. They have great pairings, great liquidity. They are running a really good bonus program for all of my traders right now, so please take advantage of that for the month of September. We are about 8 days in, 20-something plus days left to capitalize on those bonuses, but again, a lot more to come with that in the future. And then shout out to Stryker.ai, guys. This is the new AI platform that I am working with. I'm helping the team build this out. It is a great platform for macroeconomic information. Like I said, I'm helping build these guys out. If you guys have any suggestions, please shoot it my way. We can kind of talk about that. I can get it over to the team. They also have good calls coming as well. They have hot picks for the day. They have good buys. They have good sells, not only just in crypto majors, but across all of the chains like ETH and Sol. So shout out to CoinCatch and shout out to Stryker.ai, guys. This is the structure that we're looking at right now. The next NPOC level to the upside is about that 114,715. That is going to be a take profit level, or at least a percentage of a take profit level for us, guys. These NPOC prints are exactly what we are looking for to take profits off the table or to find entries. And if we know from our previous long that we created on 820, this has been a long area for us for some time now. Now, it didn't get a reaction right away. We've talked about this. We've talked about patience. We've talked about needing to dollar cost average into an area. Again, I did get chopped up in a little bit of this price action, but again, today my profits from Bonk, my profits from Fartcoin, ENA, BTC, and Ethereum have erased all my losses. Again, sometimes it takes a couple of attempts to get the trade right. Got a couple of trades wrong, but now I am here capitalizing on this move to the upside. We'll be looking to take profits into this. I do not think I am catching a bottom here. I do not think that this is going to go to all-time highs. There's a potential, and I might leave some on the table to try and capitalize on that ROI. But as of right now, guys, just still staying level-headed, grounded to my setups, to my trading. As far as NPOC prints, next one is that 114,715 and then 118 and 119. So those are going to be profit taking levels for me, guys. Maybe shave off 10 to 20% here and then look to shave off another 40% here and then leave a runner to break that all-time highs and that upper limit retest of our current range. This is the structure that I'm looking at for NPOC levels. Again, we get an NPOC print every single day. It happens at the daily close at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for me. I'm not sure when that is for you guys. Calculate it to where you're at. It's always key to know when that new print happens. For me, it's 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So as of right now, the print will be probably around that 112,030. If that does happen, then I will love to see a retest of that area just so that we can continue higher. That's why I like NPOC prints, especially those local and new NPOC prints. They can give you a short-term time frame directional bias, which I think is very key when it comes to being a trader in general. So that's what we're looking for here, guys. I don't have any other new setups for you. We can go over the setups that we created last live stream on 9/1. A lot of people were looking for lower, which I get, right? You don't have to take every trade. Maybe sometimes you're not comfortable adding into an area, but you know, we've talked about this area multiple videos in a row to where I think that this is just a demand zone for BTC. Once resistance, twice resistance, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times resistance, and then we had this impulse move higher. So a retest of this area makes a lot of sense, and I have been saying that, I've been drilling it into you guys, that this is a support level. At the very least, you should not be shorting this level. If you are not willing to take the long, that's fine. I get it. You know, some people think more downside, but at the very least, there's no reason to be bearish here. There's no reason to short. We did talk about that potential short that we did not take on 721 up here at that 12560 and that 121768. Now, I did not short this. I did not chase this short. I missed it. No harm, no foul. We then started to look for new trades, and that new trade was that long at 820 that we are currently in, that I am currently long on BTC. Again, I didn't trade it perfectly. I took a couple of L's trying to trade this, got shaken out a little bit on the chop, on the low-term time frame chop. It happens, but like I said, my profits from today have completely wiped out all of those losses within that trading, and so now you kind of get to reap the benefits. That's kind of the key to the game, right? Is you can take a couple of losses, but those losses can't be detrimental to your portfolio. They can't be detrimental to your trading, right? I will take 3, 4, 5 small losses to catch that one big winner and have that one big winner outweigh all of those losses. That's the way that I look to be trading, guys. Let's get into Ethereum here. So not much has changed on ETH. We did kind of front run that 4191, but I will tell you guys this, that should not have been your trigger to long. We had triggers to long Ethereum at 4431 and 4310. So this was the whole dollar cost average area based on NPOC prints. It wasn't this exact last one. People want the last one to hit because that's when they try and bottom ticket and that's when they try and catch bottoms. But the reality is this was a long area for about a $200 spread on Ethereum to just be averaging into all this. So if you are waiting exactly for the bottom tick to happen before you long into it, then I think, you kind of need to rethink your strategy a little bit. That's why I say dollar cost average in, dollar cost average out. You're not going to bottom tick a trade with size, but you can size in using the DCA strategy. So just because we didn't hit the exact bottom on this doesn't mean that I still think this isn't a good area to be dollar cost averaging into. You could break this down into a lower time frame range as well, and you can see, hey, well, we did bottom tick that lower limit of this lower term time frame range a couple of times, and we still have a resistance area here. Ethereum is not really out of the woods yet. I think BTC is the cleaner setup, and I think altcoins will be offering a better opportunity. But this NPOC print could still hit. We could run up here while BTC puts in a leg higher, touches maybe that 118, 119, giving that Bitcoin dominance a little more strength, right? And then we run back down and close out 4191 before ETH has that retest of those local highs of about that all-time high 5K area. But, overall, still an area that we've been wanting to long since 825. We created this game plan all the way back here. And so we did get into a dollar cost average area. So again, just do your best to understand that you're not going to be bottom ticking these plays perfectly. Not too overcomplicated on Ethereum for the NPOC prints. I've said this a while that I think BTC is a cleaner setup. I think that, in confluence with this lower limit range, in confluence with these NPOC prints, that BTC was the better looking setup in my opinion. But that's really it on NPOC prints for Ethereum. Again, we're going to have a print today. I'll update you guys on that today. As of right now, it's about that 4,300. If it does stay at that area and it prints, I want a retest of that area so that we can close that out before potentially putting in a leg higher, just like exactly what we talked about with BTC. If it prints here about that 111.98, I want a retest of that before we continue higher. Fartcoin, again, is one of those ones, discounted price. We've talked about this before. We tried to long Fartcoin a little too soon. We had that wash, and then now here we are at lower limit. And I think that once again, us being at that lower limit is still of interest for me to be longing into. Like I said, took a couple losses, but those losses are now outweighed by my one winner that I'm having on Fartcoin as of right now. But yeah, I think this is clean. Lower limit retest, support holding, and then we can get a run up to that $1 point, and then $1 is gonna be median ML, then median ML into upper limit. So we're not out of the woods yet though, guys. I will say profit taking is still key within some of these trades. If you're in decent profit, shave off a percentage of it and just lock it in. I think ENA was a good, we ended up longing it a couple times. We longed it actually down here, kind of took some profits on it. I think I made a few $1,000 on it, and then it impulse move higher and then round tripped, and then here we are back in that area. So if you can live through some of that downside, if you can get those bottom tick entries and be able to hold, or at least those bottom tick dollar cost average, it's a decent area. I think ENA is good for at least an 80 cent take profit area for me. So definitely still watching ENA. I still think the high term time frame on DOGE looks really good. I still think it can at least get into this area of that 35 cent range, especially now it's looking strong. A lot of other things are looking strong. So DOGE will be one of those ones that runs because it is like one of those retail winners. We talked about this range. We ended up not taking this trade, but we talked about it, right? We wanted that retest into the discounted range that we were watching. This is a pretty clean range, but as of right now, I'm not interested in AVAX just because it is at that upper limit. Premium price of the 1 hour or the 1 day range. I still think it has the opportunity to break out. AVAX looks good. It totally bottomed here. We wanted that retest of lower to that 16, 17. Again, we got it. I did not take it. Overall, I think that it's a decent trade. I'm not willing to be putting on trades at this, 1 day resistance for me, but that doesn't mean that it can't break out and continue to go higher. Yeah, I hope this one does well for the sake of the fucking Trump administration, just everything going on with their bullshit shenanigans, right? But, at the end of the day, I'm not interested in trading it. I'm not fucking giving those fuck bags any money. It's had a very, very clean range out of the lows. Since the lows of about that 16 cents, it put on about a 50% move to the upside. So still decent action, right? Still decent range within price to be capitalizing on upside and downside. But for me, I'm not interested in WLFI. I just think it's just another fucking money grab for the Trump administration that I'm not interested in. So yeah, we did whiff. I think I traded a little bit. I kind of closed a little too soon, but it is kind of making that decent move to the upside. I like these plays, man. I like a lot of plays. I like, really everything that is kind of currently happening within altcoins. I know it's a struggle right now, but really WIF is putting in a decent move back into range. You can throw channel trend on this, and it looks like a beautiful spot to be longing. Deviation out and then acceptance back in, and then you can look for at least that 93 to $1. We attempted CRV. I kind of got frustrated with this one. We did have a deviation at the lows, kind of not getting acceptance back into it. For me, I kind of moved on from CRV. I wanted that lower limit to kind of hold. It didn't. This was another one that I took a loss on and just kind of moved on. You know, there were better plays out there for me to be trading. I think Fartcoin was a little bit better, and then I think, you know, Bonk obviously is a little bit better for me as well, as we are seeing a little bit of extension on both of those. But yeah, you know, CRV is decent. I think that nothing has changed from it. Put in a really nice move out of these lows here. I still think that CRV can cook. It's just, you know, I'm not interested in it, but still, CRV is still sitting at a good discount from the highs. You know, it was at about a 40% discount. Right now, you're still sitting at about a 31% discount. Not a terrible setup. For me, the loss of structure was a break below lower limit, retest of that, and then break down further. I still think Curve is a good longevity play to be into, but not interested in trading it on the low term time frames. Yeah, Link actually played out to our last game plan that we wanted. You know, we wanted to retest into this area, lows of that 21. You know, we got a decent discounted buy. You know, again, if you look at just our basic setups, premium, discount, we've been at discount for a while. We're still at a discount. It showed so much strength over the course of the last couple months when everything was looking like dog shit. So, you know, I really do think that Link can be a good performer when things start to go really well. But BTC and Ethereum still need to really play nice for Link, I think, to kind of extend above this median ML back into premium ranges. But once we get above that median ML, I think that it can dogleg a little bit higher into that 24, 25, 26 area. But Link is just strong. The community's strong. You know, they have a lot of stuff going on with SEC filings, and so we'll just kind of see. Good reaction out of the lows. You could argue that this was a deviation with acceptance back in, and we had about a 30% discount to the downside. So Stellar's not terrible, right? It's getting acceptance back in. If the acceptance back in continues, then I think it can easily get to this median ML range at about that 44 cent. If we break above median ML, then it could potentially go to those local highs of about that 51% as well. But again, a lot of this is going to be a main factor for BTC and Ethereum, and if they continue. But decent deviation outside of range with acceptance back in, and so XLM does not look terrible. It's also one of those dino coins too that probably run just because everything else runs. I do appreciate you guys joining. I do appreciate you guys being a part of Trade with Castillo VIP Telegram. Again, probably going to be doing a giveaway for you guys. Thanks again. I appreciate everybody for joining, and I'll see you over in the Telegram. Peace out.